the Creality CR10S Pro version 2 and version 1 included. My honest review after 1 month. Now, you're not getting a review from a person that's got a whole plethora of 3D printers, been doing this for forever. This is a very raw, honest, 1 month after review, first time 3D printer. This is, if you're in the market and you're the first 3D print that you're gonna get, or just in general, you look at this model, this is as close as of an honest review to a person that's not a professional, but has experience with this for at least a month. So I'm going to start with the 5 things I dislike, end with 5 things I like about this printer, and a summary and a rating of 1 to 10. The 5 things I dislike. Number 5, I hated that this thing came with only a 4mm nozzle, and maybe smaller, but nothing like 6mm. For a 300mm print bed, you would think they would include something more. Again, that's a small little minor thing, and as I go up this ladder, the dislikes will intensify. So at number 4, there's unclear bed leveling for this thing. The instructions they're there, but they're not very clear. You have to go online, and if you don't know how to bed level, check out my video. I have done one of how I learned to bed level this machine. It's not a terribly complicated process, but it wasn't well explained, and in general, the menu on this thing has some funky English. This is made, by Chinese makers, and you would think that something that's so becoming mainstream and bought so much would be proofread, but it's a minor thing. It really is, but you would think it'd be improved. Number 3, third thing that I hate the most is the sticky bed. It's a good thing. You do want good bed adhesion, don't get me wrong, and I've never used any sort of adhesive like glue or anything like that on the bed. The problem is it's too sticky. Your prints will be stuck on there, and it changes depends on which filament you use, but in my experience, almost all of them stick really well. I've learned that heating up the bed to about 60 degrees Celsius helps me take the prints off easier with the little paddle that comes with it, but it's still very difficult, and you would hope for this price point of this printer that it would include a magnetic top right here instead, but it doesn't. That's a little annoying. Again, you can work around with it. I've used this for a month. It's just annoying, but it's usable. Number 2, definitely, without a doubt, the noisy fans. I don't know why they chose the fans that they did with this printer, but they're obnoxiously noisy. Now, if you don't have a 3D printer, when you're going to turn this on, you're going to be like, oh, that's what I expected from a 3D printer. It's not bad, okay? If this is in your garage or in your basement or somewhere there, it's fine. It's usable, it's not a problem. Don't put this in your bedroom. Living room, it needs a separate room to itself with those noisy fans. And you can hear it like next to the door without it, but it's not terribly noisy. Now, you can upgrade them, which are also detailed in one of my videos. It's not terribly complicated, but again, it cost me a little bit, about $30 to $40 range in just the fans, about hour and a half, 2 hours of my time to get that fixed. But after I did that, it's much quieter, much nicer. Just wish that they had it included. And number 1, the Flimsy fan duct. Very, very frustrated by that. This fan duct for me broke off. It's held on by just one screw in the corner, and my 3D print did not fall over. I wasn't doing anything crazy with my settings. It was just a normal day, and it just fell off. It got too hot after a while, flimsy, and it snapped and broke off, and I had to use some super glue, some 3D prints parts, and it took a little bit of time for me to get it right. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, well, can I 3D print another one? I tried, and you can. They work, but they're more noisy than the one that comes with it. So, yeah, that's something they gotta fix. It's really bothersome to me that still, the part that came with it was clearly 3D printed already by them, and they really need to get one that's just more durable and correctly built. Now, the 5 things that I love, because don't get me wrong, I've been disliking on this printer for a little bit. I love this printer, I really do, and the likes outweigh the dislikes much, much more. Number 5 is community support. That's amazing. It's amazing. Creality has Facebook groups, Reddit pages, just online videos, tutorials. There's a really strong community support behind this printer, one that I think many other printers have a difficult time rivaling, and that's something you really look for, especially as a first-time 3D printer. This you will love and enjoy, and it's very useful to have that community support with any comments for settings and fixes. I'll mention upgrades, but don't go crazy with that. This thing comes with just about stock stuff that you really don't need to upgrade much. Number 4, the dual gear extruder. It's pretty awesome. If you don't know what it is, you got 2 gears instead of just one, pushing the filament out there. Some people hate it. I haven't had any issues with it. No tubes, nothing's blown out or anything like that. It just works well. I don't have too much of a mess, and I like it. It's durable. It works really well. It's a nice thing. You don't have to upgrade for it. It's included in this model, and I like that. I wanted, as a first-time 3D printer, to buy a model that has all the bells and whistles, not too much, but not, you know, not where I bought it. I'm like, okay, it's a project. Let me upgrade this part here and there. This one has a lot of those parts already there. Which brings me to the next one, auto bed leveling. It's awesome. It kind of sucks because you don't know how to bed level if you have never had a 3D printer. But when you get this bed leveled fairly well, this sensor that it comes with, BL Touch, it works very well, and it compensates for the unleveled stuff. And it's a great sensor to have. You don't have to install it like you do on the earlier iterations of this printer, or other marketplace ones don't even have it included. It works well. I haven't had too much except for the initial part. Bed leveling, once you get it figured out, it works like a beast. It's amazing. It's super fast. 2, I love. The second thing that I love most about this printer is the print bed size. It's perfect. It's 300 millimeters by 300 with a height of 400 millimeters. That's like almost a foot in all directions. It's pretty awesome because for me, I can print small things and it does very good on the details, but the bigger part, I do cosplay stuff, an Iron Man suit. If you haven't checked out any of this videos, don't know me, this thing, I've pushed it to the max, like all the way up to here, all the way width, and it's a beast of a bed. You don't need anything bigger. You can get away with it. You can slice your files. This printer bed is perfect, and it's not too big to where it gets crazy to bed level it and all other things like that. It's nice. It's really got enough features for anyone printing any kind of things with that size. And number 1, my most number 1 favorite thing about this is just quality prints. This thing gives me, time after time, super high quality prints. Now you have to learn a little bit about 3D printing and how to print orient your stuff and things like that, but when you get that nailed down, this thing has beautiful definition that it can do. It is perfect. You have, I would say, what seems like very minimal issues compared to most other 3D printers that are available right now. If you're looking for really good quality prints, both large scale and small scale, this guy's all around can do it all. I loved it. I've been super pleased with it. So on a rating of 1 to 10, I give it an 8.5. A solid 8.5. The only things really that knock down the points is just the fact that they came with a fan duct that just needed work on it, frankly speaking, and fans that were obnoxiously loud. There was no reason for that, and the manual could be a little bit better. But that's really the only things I dislike. The rest, I could just go on and on for hours of how much I've loved this printer. I've had a fairly smooth experience for a month, especially being for the first time user for 3D printing. This thing, it's good for everyone that wants to do big stuff and small stuff. Now, if you're looking less than the price range of $700, you could definitely go to a different size printer if you're only printing small things. But if you're going to be printing large things, this guy does it all. You don't have to have a max. And the version 2, that iteration just gets almost all the upgrades that you need to have absolutely perfect prints. You don't need anything else. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. I've absolutely loved this printer. Let me know your guys' thoughts if you own one of these models, or if you're interested in getting one of these models, and I'll be sure to try to answer all your guys' questions. Smash that thumbs up and hit the subscribe down below for more content on 3D printing, and if you want to check out some pretty cool 3D printing projects. I'll see you guys in the next one.